What's on your mind, Digby Scott?
I heard a podcast this morning by my friend, well, she was interviewed, Jennifer Garvey Berger, who is this American lady, used to live in Paikakaruki up the road, now lives in London, leadership thinker. And she said something like, the seeds of the future are now. And I remember walking along and going, wow, that's a powerful statement. So I got out my phone and typed it. And so I've been mulling on it ever since. The seeds of the future are now. And what I take that to mean is that if we slow down and pay attention to what's going on for us, what lights us up, what gives us energy, and what doesn't, then we have an opportunity to grab that seed of possibility and grow it. And I wrote a little blog about it afterwards, and I thought, how much have I allowed myself to slow down in this last 2 or 3 months and listen to what energizes me and deliberately grow that? And I think I've done it in part. And then when I walked in the door here, you went, how are you going? Are you refreshed? And I went, no. And I've just had this week away. And I think it's because actually, I don't know. It's something about realizing that there's stuff that I've been spending time on that I actually think I need to let go of now. And I'm kind of frustrated that I can't.
You've got a very agitated energy today.
Do I?
You feel quite restless.
Yeah. And I've just come from this lunch where my thinking's been challenged, which is a good thing. But I'm like, here I am back. And I feel like there's all this stuff I've got to do, and there's some shoulds and some frustrations. And at the same time going, but there's these seeds I want to grow, but what are they and how do I do them? And I reckon a lot of people are coming out of the lockdown period, level 2 and 3 and 4, and kind of going, I want my life to be different, I want work to be different, I want our organisation to be different, but man, we're kind of in this rhythm and this rolling and this kind of way of living that actually we can't just quickly change, right?
It's very powerful, isn't it? Like the force of should and normality and convention.
And just momentum that the system is a certain way, and the system, just because we've locked down for 2 months, doesn't change overnight.
How do you know what a seed looks like or feels like?
Oh, that's easy for me. That's a spark of energy. It's like a... And it's a quickening of the heart. And and I wrote down in my journal today, what do I have energy for and what don't I? And that was really useful, So, and even just kind of allowing myself to write down what have I got energy for?
What's on your shit list?
What, the stuff I don't want to do?
Yeah. Can you tell me that on a podcast?
There's some work I don't want to do anymore.
Yeah.
I won't go into detail.
Yeah, but
it's the stuff that I reckon I've mastered, that I'm really good at, but it's not stuff that feels like it's my best work anymore. I can do it and it's useful for people, but the exchange is not so useful anymore. So, the value exchange. So, I could carry on and be a martyr and do that work, but it's actually, no, I need to make space for better work.
What if that work became the better work? I think about this quite a bit, where it's like, what if it's you that changes instead? Yeah. And you take something different there? Well,
my coach says just twist the kaleidoscope, right? Yeah. So the bits are still there, but you just change your relationship to them. So to me, it's about, I'm going, the way in which I'm doing this piece of work needs to change in some way. Maybe it's about how I show up with it. Right.
Yeah, sometimes incremental change I think is harder. Nuanced change is harder. Rip shit and bust change I'm very good at. Like, I'm going to move a place, I'm going to leave this relationship, I'm going to drop this client, I'm going to start this project. I'm very good at those.
Yeah.
Those ones, how do I keep living my life in a way that energizes me and aligns neatly with my values and the things I want? That's tricky.
Yeah. There's Herminia Ibarra wrote this great book called Act Like a Leader, Think Like a Leader. And her proposition is act your way into this new way of being, as opposed to think it all through and introvert it and, navel gaze it. She says, just try some different shit. right? And try doing it in a different way and see how that rewires you. And I reckon she's onto something there. Rather than analyze it to death, let's go and try something new.
So a good friend of mine has been feeling frustrated lately because he's all of a sudden stopped and looked around and gone, everyone else is getting married and bought a house and knows what they're doing with their life. Why don't I have that? Right? We just had this chat on Saturday. And I said, well, because you didn't chase that. You haven't been there. You didn't want that. You made great choices because you were doing a different thing. And if you've decided now you want that thing, well, that's cool. Let's get that thing now. And the reason you haven't met the person that you want to settle down with and have this different kind of life with is because you weren't that person. How could you possibly have met them?
Yeah, wise counsel.
Yeah. So I'm like, if you want to buy a house and settle down there and look for a family and a life and this kind of version, start being that person. Like,
but don't go into comparison, right?
No.
Because
I'm always like, don't you dare pick on past you. I like that guy. You don't get to have a go at him. I like him. He made good decisions. You leave him alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and I've found that in my life where, you go, like, for example, when I was an accountant, chartered accountant, right, with one of those big firms, I went traveling. I did my chartered accounting, then went traveling for 7 years, right, all around the world, did all sorts of different things. Got back to Perth. They're all partners in the accounting firm and making all this money, and I'm broke. Had an amazing life experience. And I'm looking at them going, did I fuck up my life?
Yeah. Why don't I have that?
Why? But then I went, no, they zigged and I zagged.
Yeah.
And that actually was really, really important. And I keep reminding myself of that now, like to don't just listen to what everyone else is doing, but actually kind of what do I want? Which is the wrestle, right? Because it is that inner work you're talking about. But what you got me thinking is, I actually think I just go and try something different. Give myself, do an experiment, try a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
As opposed to think my way through it. Just act my way through it,
So Max McKeown, who, I've been running that strategy series with on LinkedIn, he talks about, I'm not going to be able to remember the T now. He's like, it's art. Action, then response. What's the T, Cam? Thinking.
Yeah.
Action, response, thinking.
Yeah.
Action, response, thinking. And we try and do the thinking first. And we don't know anything yet because we haven't tried anything and seen the reaction or the feedback. Yeah. First it's the action, just a little one. Then it's the reaction. Then it's the thinking. And I really like that. Right. So if you're experiencing any seeds of possibility, maybe even of discontent, things are maybe going back to normal, but are you still the same person you were 8 or 12 weeks ago? If you're wrestling with anything that you want to change, or that you want to tweak, could you just act as if for a little while first? See what happens?